By the end of this extra chapter, students will be able to
understand health disparities within occupations, analyze how external factors influence behavior, learn skills to improve health outcomes. This lesson focuses on the opioid epidemic within Mass, why trade workers are more impacted by substance use and overdose, and provides local statistics around the impact on the trades. It aims to get students thinking about prevention through a new lens. State of the state. Before COVID, our country was in the midst of a substance use epidemic. Now, post-COVID, with all of the stress, anxiety, fear, and grief, it has only been exacerbated. In the last year, there were more than 107,000 overdose deaths in the US. In Mass alone, there were 2,384 confirmed opioid-related deaths in 2023. This looks like more than 6 people dying each day in our state. The Brockton Area Prevention Collaborative collected data through death certificates in Plymouth County, looking for trends in overdose deaths throughout the region. Through 2014 to 2023, there were 1,241 overdose deaths in Brockton, Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, Rockland, Whitman, and Hanson. Of these overdoses, 54% were employed in some form of trade at the time of their death. Due to these alarming numbers, it is critical to target these individuals. Our definition of trades. Traditionally, what defined a trade worker included occupations like carpentry, electrical, cosmetology, and HVAC. Additional modern-day trades include engineers, graphic designers, and allied health workers. The landscape of trades has evolved in recent years, with younger generations wanting to pursue trades over liberal arts education, making trade programs more specialized than ever before.
This graph depicts the number of overdose deaths per occupation group, showing construction and extraction workers with the most overdose deaths. This data leads to many questions. The most important, why are trade workers impacted at higher rates than any other form of employment? Turn and talk activity. Ask students to turn to their peers seated around them and discuss these 2 questions. Why do you think trade workers are more impacted by substance use rates and overdose rates? And what makes this field different from other careers? Read through the reasons listed on the slide and answer the questions as needed. Here are some helpful points to make regarding this list. Let students know that these reasons were reported directly from individuals working in the trades, but they may not represent all trades. Thinking about traditional trades, which tend to require labor-intensive skills, many individuals may experience work-related injuries, leading to a prescription for a pain reliever or opioid. Similarly, the long and harsh conditions of the workday could lead to an individual turning to substances during or at the end of their day in order to help themselves feel better. The seasonality of work can have an impact on trade workers, which is especially true in Massachusetts. For example, construction workers need to plan ahead for the winter months when they will likely be laid off. Encourage students to think about how vocational students may be at risk. Recognize that vocational students may be in high school, but can be impacted by substance use or overdose in many ways. Here are some key points to remember when sharing with students. Education saves lives. The only way to ensure you're not impacted by substance use is to not use substances. Whether you are someone who has never used or you're someone who has already experimented with drugs or alcohol, education is the key to a safe and healthy life. Preparation is key. While you might not be in the working world right now, there are real-life experiences happening all of the time, even in high school. Being in the know, as well as prepared with how you will respond to situations involving substances, can save you stress and may even save a life. Be the change. Often the most powerful collective voice is youth when their thoughts and ideas are aligned. Current trends and stigma are responsible for how society operates. Being in the know and learning how to share your beliefs can create change. Exit ticket. Encourage students to turn and talk with the people around them and then share out the following questions to wrap up this lesson. What are some ways to prevent substance use in the workplace? What are some ways to increase knowledge and access to support in the workplace?